series, as we will more than likely just get the tried and true Jinx versus Aphelios matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be the Aphelios. I'm wondering if we get the Hecarim from Tien. Just kind of go, look, Volibear can come in, it'll be all fine, but it does mean that at least in the early stages, you'd be worried because BLG have push on bot with this Jinx. So maybe the Hecarim is a little bit of a worrisome pick because it may open up if FoFo gets a priority pick as well to have these invades come through on the bottom side. But Tien feeling comfortable enough just to go back towards the Hecarim and not worried too much, it feels like, about WeiWei maybe going for the Volibear.
Yeah, the Nautilus finally making it through here is so interesting to me because it just feels like this is what has been priority in a lot of LPL, right? It's just that easy CC chain that you can connect on. Did get banned away that one time, but has been kind of let through other times. Will be that priority shift this time around, though a little bit different from what we've seen already in this series. And TK gets let through for the first time to BLG.
Yeah, it's a great answer to the Nautilus as well. So now if you want to, you can go towards the Hecarim for yourself here as BLG. You can go for WeiWei going with the Volibear instead. Look to play off the pressure that we got on the bot side. But actually BLG not opting in towards any of the junglers. They're going to go for the Graves in the top side. Now, always a flex pick could go to WeiWei, but they're kind of saying, hey, Wayward, are you going to just take this Tryndamere early here? Are you going to take the Jace? Or are you more focused on trying to get a good jungler for Tien?
I will say that first performance, though, in game number 1 from Breathe with the full lethality Graves, that was terrifying. And he was able to put down the side lane constantly. See that hover of the Hecarim, but it's the Viego locked in for Tien.
Okay, well, bit of a matchup of surprise that because I imagine you're going to ban away the Volibear, and then maybe ban the Hecarim as well, to be honest, but I don't think you really need to. Maybe leave that one open for some other sort of ban, but the Viego was what Tien played pretty much exclusively in summer 2021. Like, it actually got into my brain that they were the same person. So, so not surprised. Well, kind of surprised to see him take it now, but definitely a pick that Tien is incredibly comfortable on. My only worry is, again, where do you get your lane priority from? Because you imagine top lane bans are going to come through here. Actually, not going to be the case for BLG.
It's all about mid lane.
Wow. So I thought BLG would ban away Tryndamere and Jace, and then you get guaranteed presence on top side where you can look to actually invade and go aggressive against the Viego. Especially if top esports aren't going to ban the Volibear, you can actually play very aggressive in towards that style. But yeah, everyone just focused on the mid lane, not caring at all about what the jungler presence could be.
Really interesting. All right, so it's gonna be the Hecarim. So we do get a little bit of jungle presence, at least in the ban table from TES itself. The Hecarim taken away from WeiWei just in case that early proactive tool.
I have a brain blast.
What do you got?
I actually think that this Graves, might be jungle. I think what BLG are trying to do is base a Tryndamere pick here because they haven't banned it away at all. And I think Breathe is going to end up taking the Malphite. You're going to have the Graves jungle, and all they're trying to do is see if they can try and like draw top esports into this this counter matchup for themselves while still having incredibly strong team fight. But top esports not willing to fall for it. They're happy to just blind pick their mid laner, which is the sub 37% win rate, Viktor. But we'll have to see what the game plan is here.
Oh man, we saw game number 1. Okay, well, the only thing I will say is we've already established TS have now woken up. They've woken up to the alarm. They showed up to the red carpet a little bit fashionably late. So maybe Knight gets a different iteration of Viktor this time around. But the hopes are not very high as we saw the experience that BLG was able to utilize in that first game. It is going to be the Volibear for BLG as their 4th pickup here, and this could lead to that big brain blast that you were talking about, and see if Breathe gets his Akali.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Wayward decides to go against it. Like, the Gwen is kind of fallen off of the meta, which Akali kind of came up as the traditional counter too, but can do pretty well against the likes of Camille as well. And yeah, looks like it is. So it's going to be the Akali mid. Yeah. So we're still going to get the Tryndamere top. So top esports still going to opt in towards Wayward. And Wayward, this is like literally the only aggressive lane. Like, I'm looking at the rest of the top esports and like, all right, cool, hands off. We're going to play for late game. So if you're BLG, I feel like putting a lot of your presence into that top side, trying to shut down Wayward, will pay you dividends. The only issue that you have is FoFo no presence in mid, means that maybe Knight can try and help out on some of those roams, but I mean, game number 4 here. Ah, God. This is a tough one. This feels like the same issue that I saw with the draft for top esports in game 1, where they're kind of in this position of not really having the tools to play aggressive, to try and set up for plays. Although with the counter pick of the Akali, they can maybe get some plays in towards the enemy jungle. But yeah, it all seems a bit it seems a bit strange from top esports, but I feel like they have the stronger draft coming into this, just with the scaling, the ability to play through top side of the map, and just the priority in the mid lane.
Yeah, it gets terrifying when you factor in the mechanical execution that we've seen from them in the last 2 games, right? Yes, we're getting back to the Viktor that we weren't big a fan of in game number 1, but it feels like a night and day team comparatively to that first game against BLG, and especially on BLG's side, right? We've already talked about, like, backs against the wall here. This is a composition they need to perform on. If they want to push any further into the playoffs, they need to win this game, and it's going to be down to a lot of individual performances. I mean, you have FoFo on the Akali, Dagda on the Jinx, Breathe after that incredible game number 1 on the Graves himself, has to do so against the Tryndamere this time. And that being said, we are on to the Rift. This is do or die for Bilibili Gaming. Game number 4 of this round 2 playoffs of the LPL Spring 2022 kicks off. Top Esports versus BLG.
And for BLG, this is where all of their split needs to come together. BLG have invested a huge amount into getting this roster together. And where they finished in summer 2021 was round 1 of playoffs. Round 2 is not where this team was supposed to end up. This was a team that a lot of people are looking at to finish 2nd in the league, maybe even take the entire split. But now, sitting here, 1 game away from defeat, round 2 of playoffs. This is not what BLG had envisioned when they set out on their journey at the start of the split.
This is the super team. This was supposed to be the legend of the split, right? The craziness, the fact that they signed Uzi, they got Doggo from the PCS. They had all the tools coming together. FoFo from RA, Crisp coming over. It just didn't work out that way, and it's been a very tough task for them to accomplish. This would be a statement game for them to bring it to 5 games against top esports. It's do or die time. Ooh, speaking of do or die, I don't know. JackeyLove about half health there early. Still does have the Severum though. Can heal very nicely. But it shows that Crisp is on one this game, getting those early engages.
Yeah, it feels like BLG's biggest threat is this bot side of the map, whereas when you look across the top esports about playing through those 2 solo laners, and specifically moving Knight up to help out as, that's a mistake from
early
Crisp,
path from Tien though as well. Level 2, Crisp only level 1, has the Ignite. They go back in! This is doomed! BLG's bottom lane. Doggo needs to try to get something, but he can't! And that's a kill going over to Mark as he got MVP last game. JackeyLove picks up the 2nd, and it's tatters for BLG.
It's a disaster for BLG. Tien had gone for a really funky path. You can see they're gone for both the Wolves and the Krugs. So, the Grump. So actually hadn't gone over towards this blue because he knew there was a ward on us. So BLG thought they were safe, thought that Tien was on the top side of the map. But their information was wrong. Tien played around that information so well and turned it back on BLG.
That's the difference. That is the maker for Tien. That is the experience, the level of mechanical skill. We saw it last game on the Lee Sin, dodging through vision of BLG with ward hops, finding ways around that they would never expect. I think it's huge. Speaking of never expecting, Knight needs to be very, very careful here. He will be in some trouble. Doesn't really have anything to get out. And honestly, might just die to FoFo himself. The gravity field does help out. WeiWei. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. Flash over the wall. Maybe he'll start. We don't see him here in WeiWei. He's just making the distance here. He's going to go to the tri-bush to try to back, or at least maybe just execute himself into the tower. Breathe not having level 6 yet. Knight successfully executes himself.
I will be able to TP back to the lane, so not going to be too bad. FoFo, as an Akali, not going to be able to shove out that wave too much. So all said and done now, bot lane in favor of top esports. The priority already for Knight still going to be in favor of him. And Wayward, he was the last piece of the puzzle for top esports with control here. But you can see WeiWei sitting on the ward, doesn't realize he'll be spotted.
Does just complete that back there as Tian up on this top side. That does mean Breathe is playing pretty confidently up here, and Wayward goes in for the aggression. Nice mechanics from Breathe. Does stop the slow there, but Tien moving in now. Wants to try to find something. Won't do it. Breathe playing too safe there. Will be spotted out in that ward as well.
Yeah, it's not... So Tien already knew there was a ward in the bush. It's about getting Breathe to back off so Wayward can actually keep this long wave. That way he can actually maybe look to try and chase Breathe down, especially if Breathe tries to overextend. But at the moment, Wayward taking a good chunk of damage from Breathe, but a freeze in a position like this for the Tryndamere is perfect, because if you can connect, it's so good at being able to chase down the Graves.
Ooh. Breathe putting some serious work though with the kiting skills there. Getting a couple shots, Wayward canceling an auto or two in that situation, but still coming up a little bit volatile on the top side of the map. But now we got to focus back towards the bottom side here, because Dagda, we got Dragon on the Rift. And it does mean, you know, both these teams have been putting a lot of focus into these dragons. We've had two Elder Dragons in this game, in this series, in two separate games, which I feel like I never got to see in the regular season whatsoever. But both these teams putting a lot of that focus on neutral objectives.
Even being at about the 25 to 28 minute mark as well. Incredibly fast Elders on the board as well. But I don't know if we're going to get that much attention. It is a Cloud Dragon. Top Esports, I think, want to try and keep punishing through the bot side. The fact that they have that early kill and the Noon Quiver picked up. But WeiWei maybe looking to trade that. But Tien reading this beautifully. He's already down on this bot side.
Yeah, it's really scary how above everything it seems like Tien is right now. He just knows every step of the situation that he needs to solve. Breathe nicely traded onto Wayward up there, both about to hit that level 6 mark. It's just going to be that volatile trading back and forth until somebody gets a real big lead. Wayward hit level 6 now though. Undying Raid means that he could pop him. Breathe goes down. Wayward survives and the solo goes to TES.
It was only a matter of time. This matchup sucks, and this is why I said, for BLG, you need to ban it in draft. Unless you're trying to big brain and play around it, but the Tryndamere was always going to come through for Wayward. And Wayward, when he joined the LPL, Series 2 against TT, played this exact matchup, got 3 solo kills, and announced to the LPL that he was here to play. And now, with 1 game away from Top Esports advancing, Wayward is picking up those solo kills once more. You can see it here. Just beautiful timing. Waits for that minion to die, baits Breathe in, gets the level 6, and chases down the BLG top lane.
Yeah, that flash auto attack did so much with the full stack of the rage there. That is incredible stuff. And just good heads-up play from Wayward on Top Esports themselves. Now, they do have that little bit of strength up in the top side now in terms of at least having a kill, having a little bit of pressure. It's not going to make anything go away here, but Wayward could definitely feel more confident up there, as we do see in the mid lane get a little bit of focus from Tien. Not going to find too much in there, as it did have Mark on his way as well. A lot of bodies from TES to try to make this mid lane pay a little bit. Doggo about to get aggressed on by JackeyLove. He just has the chakrams. Oh no, JackeyLove. That's 2 solo bolos in the game from TES, and momentum is on their side, Dagda.
And it's going disastrously for BLG. They're falling apart at the seams. This is the game where they need to step up, but Top Esports have them in every single lane.
He has Undying Rage again. Stop it. I don't want to see this anymore. Breathe gets another solo kill, and that's 3 on the board for TES.
WeiWei.
Oh my god.
Should be able to get it. Okay.
The chop.
Wait, the Undying Rage wasn't used.
He didn't pop Undying Rage under the tower. Oh my god, Stormbearer comes down, he's baited. WeiWei is getting trolled right now. He's trying to make something happen. Crisp and FoFo are up here as well, but Tien survives from that engage. Now FoFo and Crisp want to make something happen here. The perfect execution goes through, and Wayward will give his life. BLG finally on the board.
Hey, they will, but at what cost? You're pushing mid, you're going to lose waves there though. Breathe has moved across to try and collect that. You've invested a ton of resource up the top side to only match the play from Top Esports. Top are playing this early game so incredibly well. And the reason for a lot of this is because of Tien. Now, we are going to see JackeyLove get the solo kill. This is just JackeyLove punishing the fact that Aphelios in the 1v1 will always beat the Jinx. But Tien has been matching WeiWei, every part of this early game, we said, look, for top esports, Wayward's the one that wants to go aggressive. The rest of the map just wants to kind of take it slow, scale into the late game, and then find those late game scenarios. But when you're looking at how to get there, it's about tracking WeiWei, making sure that he's never comfortable. He's not finding the plays to get BLG into the lead. And Tien has done that beautifully all game long.
Undying Rage not available for Wayward. He's trying to put some damage in onto WeiWei as TP comes through from Knight. WeiWei in some trouble, has to flash. The Rift Herald connects but doesn't take down the tower. A decent amount of gold to BLG, but it's an objective to top esports. His first dragon on the board for them.
Crucially, none of that gold went to FoFo though. That was about trying to get FoFo up and running, because when you look at the way BLG win team fights, it's by having FoFo be that threat onto Knight, onto JackeyLove, but all that gold went to WeiWei, and now TES want to go mid.
The pincer maneuver is coming through here. Chaos Storm, the dredge line doesn't connect onto Doggo. Now Knight in some trouble against Breathe. Wayward has found Breathe though on the side. Collateral damage not over the wall, but still getting out with the help of Crisp.
But they does leave JackeyLove on his own on the bot side, and he'll be able to get this tower again. So top esports, we're looking at 10 minutes into the game, and when this tower goes down, they'll be sitting about 3,000 gold up. JackeyLove though doesn't want to try and over aggress, knows that FoFo's on reset, so we'll just back it off and not give that position.
Well, hey, Doggo gets what he wanted there to stop JackeyLove's back, at least for just a second. Back will be completed though. We'll see mid laners go to the side lanes here as duos will come to the mid lane, and we'll get that focus there as actually we get both junglers towards this top side. WeiWei just lying in wait in the bush here. Will be spotted out by the Scry there, but it still dissuades Tien from ganking and diving on this top side.
This game for BLG needs to come from FoFo. We've talked about FoFo and how over the course of playoffs, he's been the one that stood up. He's the one that's been trying to carry BLG. Well, this is the game where he has to do it. Doggo has already got the legs cut out from under him, and Breathe is about to have the same, although WeiWei is there to make sure that he's all there.
Yeah.
But the big thing here is that FoFo, with the kill on this Akali, can try to take over side lanes, can try to have the pressure in this these team fights to kill JackeyLove, to take out Knight. And everything has to be on him, because with how far behind Doggo's been put and Breathe's been put, there's just no one else who's left to be that carry.
Yeah, there really isn't, and there's so many things to be worried about, right? Wayward himself is going to be building up to a monstrosity on this Tryndamere. Tien, Knight, obviously things you have to deal with, but as you were mentioning, right, try to pick off these squishier members, trying to pick off Knight and JackeyLove is so important. And I just don't know if that's going to be possible, right? You have a lot of safety in the peel back as well for TES. And I was wondering if maybe that early objective focus might lead to something that BLG can play through, but we haven't seen that. And it's relying specifically on just composition difference. And I don't know if that's going to be possible here, but here comes FoFo to try. Oh, he misses the shuriken flip. And that's going to be a huge amount of damage missing from the combo.
I just, again, am baffled by BLG's draft. Like, the reason that you pick Volibear and why he's raised up so prominently in playoffs is because he's such a strong 2v2 with the mid jungle. But by locking in the Akali, you mean that you're just completely out of whack when it comes towards the ability to play through the 2v2, especially when Knight had gone towards the Viktor. So now this Volibear's usefulness is kind of just waned. Wayward is able to have free reign as he wants to on this top side, because you don't really get an opportunity as Wayward to like interrupt that matchup. Knight's just shoving in all day mid, so your last place to try and have presence is boss. But JackeyLove and Mark already won that 2v2 thanks to Tien early.
And I might be just looking at results-based analysis, but you know, it has not been a fun series for the Volibears that have been chosen.
Yeah.
It just seems like the pick has not been able to get off the ground in any of the games it's been available for. I mean, there's been a couple bright moments, right? But it's still a stark difference to what we're seeing on the other side of each game that we're getting the Volibear. As we do see Knight take down a side tower, it will be the first tower of the game going to TES.
But on that Volibear point, like, it's the exact same as we saw from Tien in game 1. You're just not doing anything as WeiWei. You're not having that impact. So the usefulness of Volibear's early game isn't being put to good use. So now you end up in a situation where you get to these late game fights. You're not really that tanky. You end up just being cut off. And there's not much you can do. And top, again, watch Tien. He's reading every play WeiWei's
so
trying to make.
scary.
He's making sure he's there.
It is so scary. This guy just seems like he is playing Ender's Game at this point, and it's absolutely crazy. He is everywhere he needs to be, and this Viego is shining for Tien, even though we just had the game of him popping off on the Lee Sin. It's just much of the same, and as we had stated before, not to say it too many times, but top esports just seem to have awoken themselves here and are dominating in the way that we expected them to do.
They are dominating is the expectation, but the way they're doing it is quite different. Like, when we look at the way top esports have been playing, it's like, hey, we're going to play this super aggressive style, all out aggression with the mid jungle, look for picks, look for ganks, look for plays in the enemy side of the map. Not what we're getting here. This one's about Wayward. This one's a much slower game from Knight. This one's about Tien showing that he's capable of like matching and tracking the opposition jungler for counter ganks and looking to play much more towards like the pressure that Wayward can create on side lanes and looking at these objectives. So a bit of a different story and a different look for top esports, and now Tien may be in trouble.
The shuriken flip connects that time. Perfect execution does not, but he still gets the kill onto Tien. Be a nice pick off from BLG, and that's the potential that can be there. A 2-0 FoFo is the potential for Cairn.
And that's, again, the guy that we have to look at. But this is where you can see top esports, they aren't clean. This is why we don't tend to see them play the style, is because they tend to go that bit over aggressive, and Tien, a good example there.
They do get the Devourer off onto Doggo, though. Stormbringer comes out from WeiWei, and the rest of TES, we're trying to follow it up. There's 4-member strong BLG there. They do get a couple utility abilities out of there, but not too much. And we'll get a replay of that last situation, especially FoFo taking out Tien.
Yeah, you can see Tien here knows he's got the shuriken on him, so trying to wait it out, but FoFo able to follow with the perfect execution, gets the kill, and there's just nothing you can really do there. Tien just caught out in no man's land. And again, if Tien overextends like this, that is going to be issues for the way top esports want to play out this game. And the fact that Wayward has his tower gone on top means that Breeze is able to push that in that little bit and keep himself a little bit safer. BLG are getting control of like the general map state, where they're being able to mostly get vision control in their own jungle and trying to keep top esports out. But as you can see, top esports now with presence on mid and top, looking to go over to Rift Herald and make sure that they're the ones that are in control.
It's all about control. As another tower does fall for top esports, we need to see them pick it up a little bit more. As you know, something we've seen in the last games is when they do get that lead, continue pressing it up, and I feel like they're doing so, or they're starting to do in this game in particular, because that is so brutal to play against, especially for BLG, where you have a slight light at the end of the tunnel. You have FoFo who's starting to come online himself, but if TES don't let you stand for a moment, don't let you get to that point, that is where TES thrive. And we're seeing some of that as they've taken towers now. They've been able to press up into the enemy jungle, and that's what we were seeing in the last couple of games as well.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you've still got, as you know, the TP comes through to the bot side. You still got to be careful of FoFo. I know that we're kind of talking about it, but here's the demonstration.
It is as we speak, although... Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Knight! He doesn't get him! Woo! FoFo gets the solo.
It's FoFo nearly getting caught out by the stopwatch, but it's the bait that switches. He gets Knight, and I was about to say, FoFo has an insane amount of money on him. He got the solo tower top. He's getting this tower nearly bot side. He's got the kill now onto Knight. 3 kills for this Akali. Shadow Flame more than likely completed off of this reset. He's almost a full item against ahead of a lot of top esports. So FoFo certainly can carry this game in top esports. I don't think they're ready for what FoFo is about to bring.
I don't think they're ready either. And again, I hate to reiterate on it, but the Viktor not looking like a Knight pick here in this one. And FoFo is definitely taking advantage of it in every way, shape, and form.
I will say, like, Knight is a phenomenal Viktor player.
Absolutely.
It's just that what you need from Knight for top esports just isn't there. And you can see there, even nearly predicts FoFo's movement. Just a case of a bit short on the laser. And it gives another kill across the FoFo. No Shadow Flame yet for FoFo, though. Just off of that. Which means that you'll probably have it for the next dragon that's coming up in a minute 45. And that may be where we see FoFo make his presence known. Seeing if he can try and turn this game back around. But again, top esports playing their style of game. Brute force their way into the jungle. Command the vision control, and make sure that you're always able to find these picks, make it an uneven fight before you ever get to the objective.
How are those hatches looking, Dagda? Are we getting battened?
A bit flapping, bit of flapping.
All right, we don't have the locks on there just yet, but FoFo's looking to put in those locks here. He's going to try to solo Knight again. Oh, my God, no way. There's too many bodies here this time, FoFo. Oh, my God, he gets him. He's not going to make it out, right? He's in the shroud. He's got so much healing, so much health left. He's still got 3 more members of TES to deal with, but he's buying so much. Oh, my God, he just goes back in. Okay. Well, he gave up his life to JackeyLove there, but he at least gets the Knight solo kill again.
Yeah, probably gives a shutdown across to JackeyLove as well, though, which not where you want to be, but you can see what I mean. FoFo in fights unchecked is going to be an issue. Now, BLG weren't able to respond to that, but they did draw a lot of members of top esports down, and it's giving the opportunity for BLG to clear out that deep vision. Get themselves the opportunity to fight at this dragon. No flash for FoFo, though, and he's going to be up in about 10 seconds before that dragon spawns, so can make his way to that objective.
Oh, yeah, that's it's just terrifying when FoFo is able to do so much on just one pick and having 4 members of TES have to respond to him. But again, you have to be really careful with this next little bit, though. The objective's obviously important. It is only the 2nd dragon for either of these teams, and because TES are in position already, there will be no contestation coming out from BLG, except for the Mega Death Rocket, which just helped a little bit longer there. But again, it's looking at TES now that they've taken this dragon. What do they do with it? Do they continue to press up? And as is tradition, yes, they do, Dagda.
Yeah, and trying to buy visions for Wayward as well. Wayward pushing in on the spot side. Top esports in general would like to be situated up towards the top end of the map so they can look for Baron and keep Wayward's pressure going on this bottom end, but it means that BLG could outman them here in this mid lane.
FoFo is a predator waiting in the bush for his prey. He's just hoping that somebody walks up to him and can just be effaced off of the world of Summoner's Rift. Wayward on the side does get spotted out by the Sky Splitter there, but the split push still continuing. You see TES putting that vision around the Baron pit, though, as you were kind of saying, and making sure to have that vision game up there while, you know, Wayward continuing to be a nuisance on this Tryndamere because it's so hard to get him. He's got the Navori quick plays, he's got the Gale Force now, and he is a menace.
The thing is, though, he's built for team fights. Like, this is where Wayward's going, right, FoFo, you want to be a bit of a prick and be a nuisance in our backline. I'm going to do the same to yours. I'm going to situate myself in the backline. I've got a ton of tools to make sure that I can stick to Doggo, ton of tools to make sure I can chase him down, even when Crisp devours him. And then we're going to just trade AD carries. And that's when then you're looking going, all right, well, who's left? Breathe is pretty far behind at this stage. Knight can still be a major carry in team fights. And it looks like top esports are looking to see if they can try and just out-annoy each other, or out-annoy BLG when it comes to these fights.
But TES looking for picks again. I want to highlight that the carries are getting some item spikes along the lines of 2 here for each side, especially Knight, JackeyLove, FoFo, Doggo. But they are starting a Baron. They have started a Baron. It's already at 9,000 health. Knight is going to get Stormbringered on, but Mark goes for the re-engage. Moonlight Vigil across the Caliber connects, but doesn't do too much in that aspect. But Crisp goes over the wall with the Abyssal Dive. Thought he could connect onto somebody. Doesn't find anybody. Wayward on the side here with the flank. TES, are they going to capitalize on way overextended? They do not. And it is TES who still take pole position here, but BLG moving into the mid lane for priority.
Yeah, top esports will start to push it out, but that's exactly what they wanted. The biggest issue for top esports right now is the fact that FoFo has TP and Wayward doesn't. Wayward's the only one that can deal with FoFo in a side lane. So if FoFo's going to have the TP, that's an issue for top esports. So baiting that out now means that BLG can't play the side lane game. They have to play the team fights, and that's where top esports are looking to find their battle.
Oh no, Crisp immediately flashes out because he knows what's coming. FoFo over the wall. This has to be it for BLG. They're committing, but they overcommitted. Breathe is the only one left in the fight. Doggo is left out too. Wayward chasing him down, and that is catastrophe for BLG. You didn't need to take that fight, but FoFo win in.
They thought they had the moment. FoFo has been trying to carry BLG kicking and screaming this game, but again, takes that step too far forward, thinks he can see the hero play, but it only ends in zeros. Deaths for BLG. Breathe, the only one standing, and Top Esports will get the Baron for themselves.
What a mistake at a crucial time for BLG. They were right on the cusp, as I felt like has been so often the case in this series, but it's one mistake, one overstep that ruins the situation, and Top Esports come away with Baron, they come away with the lead, and they come away with the fight.
And you can see here, Crisp just gets caught out, and FoFo thinks, look, maybe this is it. I can get onto the backline, but just there's so much AoE damage from the Infernum that even when he's in the Shroud, FoFo's taking a blistering amount of damage. Wayward is able to just, as we said, out-annoy the BLG backline, get on top of Doggo, make sure he's not relevant, and JackeyLove can deal with FoFo.
Wayward is absolutely monstrous right now. Like, that nobody that sees him can do anything about him in these fights, right? And it's so scary that it's both him and JackeyLove, right? Maybe a little bit more of a quiet game from Knight, but he's facilitating a lot of this. He's buying a lot of time with the spacing that Viktor can provide, and that's something we didn't see in game number 1 because they never got to that point. But now we're seeing the true carries here in this game, in this 4th one, to book TES further into the playoffs is Wayward and JackeyLove.
Right, though.
Might be in some trouble. We're talking about buying some time. He does buy a lot, but it's not going to be enough here. He does have a decent amount of damage with the Chaos Storm back, though. Is this a 2v1? Knight is coming up clean, but he dies to Breathe with a huge clutch out.
Breathe, though, will stay alive. It was about trying to trade sides of the map here for BLG. May get some damage onto this inhibitor turret, but 1 for 1, top will get Dragon, and they may try to get more on this bottom side, as you can see them all collapsing for that tier 2.
It is already going down at the same time the Dragon is taken. That is 3 Dragons, sole point for TES. Meanwhile, JackeyLove! FoFo, there is nothing you can do anymore. You've tried to drag your team across the finish line, but that finish line is way too far away.
Mazel, where'd he go? I mean, the Observer didn't even get to swap to him before he was dead. That was so much damage from JackeyLove. Collector coming in clutch as well to help finish off that Akali. And for BLG, that's your win con.
They're TPing. They're under tower. Wayward trying to take down WeiWei. They're taking down this tower, though, and Vark and JackeyLove are on the bottom one. This is just slow and steady bleed out for BLG.
And Top Esports, they want it. They can see that rematch against LNG, and they are angry. They want to make sure that they can take that from BLG, but BLG with the TPs.
This is the FoFo moment. This is the big one. Mega Death Rocket comes in. Can FoFo make this happen? Stormbringer on a mark. They've already gotten one down. And TES back away. The TP didn't end up in the big bloodbath that maybe we wanted, but it's a recollection for BLG to buy a little bit of time here and survive a little bit longer as their base is in tatters.
There's no perfect execution on FoFo. He couldn't go in because he didn't have the ultimate, so he ends up basically just playing as like a traffic cone, trying to corral Top Esports to where BLG want them, but it doesn't end up working out. And now Top Esports get the resets. They will lose Mark, but it's not the end of the world. There's no objectives up for the next 3 minutes, so they'll just take it slow. They got the inhibitor that they wanted in mid, couldn't quite get the one in bot, but stick Wayward down in that bot lane, he'll find that one lickety-split.
Absolutely. That is the terrifying prospect of it, as we do see pings coming around this bottom side for BLG. It's just about establishing some vision, establishing some sort of control outside of your own base. But TES are already putting their machinations to work. They're getting Knight in the side lane and top. Try to break down this last inhib tower that stands for BLG in time for the Dragon.
And again, it's about getting that vision control for top, making sure there's no way for BLG to actually mount an offense. Even 2 minutes until the Dragon, this is going to serve a double purpose with this vision for top. You give yourself the presence on this top end to push in, while also being able to fall back for the Dragon or for the Baron when that spawns. Wayward now already on the spot side. We talked about him being able to get this inhibitor fairly easy against Breathe.
See if this siege does continue, though, as it is a bit of a rough time in their own right. But Wayward takes the bottom inhib because he can, and now he's in 2v1 in some trouble themselves. He does have the Gale Force to get away, and that's the quickness. Look at it. He pops the Ghost, and he's speed. He's McQueen at this point.
And FoFo commits the bot, so top will push in on this top side. But again, they got what they came for. 2 inhibitors down, a minute until Baron. Top Esports are going to reset, get their vision control, and for BLG, Baron has to be your last stand. Another Baron is just going to leave you far too weak with 2 inhibitors exposed, an inhibitor turret only left standing on that top side. You need to make sure Top Esports do not get this Baron.
And they absolutely can't. I mean, it would be the nail in the coffin if you were to speak of it, because it's just so hard, right? Like BLG's composition themselves, we've seen FoFo trying to make something happen. He's on 3 items now. You can look for that burst potential. Last time he went on to JackeyLove, he got blown up himself. And this is terrifying to speak of because we were talking and putting so much resources in FoFo in being the one to carry this game. But he can't do it himself. He needs the team. He needs the doggo late game carry. We talked about who's bringing the fireworks. Well, Dagda, we're at 30 minutes in. Yes, it's not the 45 I wanted, but Doggo's got to pick up something here.
Yeah, 3 items could maybe be enough, but Wayward doesn't really care how many items you have. You don't get to kill him. Death's Dance now complete as well. His sticking power is absolutely insane, and once he gets those kills, he's going to be able to heal all that damage up so well. And FoFo,
you can't get caught out like that, but it's all of TES right on your doorstep. The LG on the other side. Look at Wayward. He's found over the wall. The Moonlight Vigil over top of it all. And it's Knight coming away with one of the kills. FoFo on the side all by him. Floatsome and BLG have been ripped apart. Their team composition did not matter. Their game 1 did not matter. But Steve Breathe just needs to hold on hope, needs to hold on to something, but it's all grasping at straws. FoFo the last one left, but FoFo dies all the same. BLG are out of playoffs, and it's TES who have a date with their rival in LNG.
And that is how Top Esports do. Finding so many opportunities for Wayward to take over in that top side. But when it got to team fights, no matter how hard FoFo tried, there was just too many pick opportunities for Top Esports. And a quadra kill for Knight as well. As always, at the end, Knight has to just get a couple for himself to make sure he's happy. But either way, Top Esports, 3 games picked up against BLG. And game 1, bit messy. Game 2 was confident. Game 3, there was definitely that bit of a window of opportunity for FoFo to come back into it. But you could see Top Esports are having none of it and shut that instantly.
And the wake up, the glow up, just in this series alone. I always question about, the way that LPL playoffs work, the teams that do have a little bit of time before their series, it always seems like they need a little bit of a chance to wake up. And a lot of times they don't get the chance to wake up. You have a momentum heavy team coming into it because of the way the playoffs work. TES needed 1 game. But then we saw the TES that we know and love, the TES that can dominate the early game and force you to bleed out in the games slowly but surely. And yes, there were some chaotic moments, as is T to the fit for TES, but all in all, you got to see the pieces working in tandem. Tien, Knight coming together in a few of those games, but as well as seeing the carry potential of the other pieces of TES.
Yeah, I mean, Top Esports were just. I think it's super interesting to see with Top how we've kind of got several different games out of them. We got game 1 was a write-off. Let's just not look at that. But game 2, we got to see what we expected from Top Esports, which was like this pick-heavy style, strong dueling jungle coming through from Tien, where he's the one in control. Game 3, we see where Tien actually isn't in control of that matchup. He doesn't really have the same sort of presence he's able to, but is doing a wonderful job of tracking WeiWei. And even when you look at game number 2 as well, the first win for Top Esports, it was more so about, hey, we're on this Hecarim pick. We're going to look for ganks. We're going to look to link up with Knight and make sure we're taking over the early game. So we kind of got to see the full spectrum of what Top Esports are able to do and able to play. And BLG, I mean, they kept going for these, hey, we're going to half go for late game scaling. We're not really going to have too much in the early stages. The drafts, I think, left a lot to be desired for BLG, and Top Esports were just able to punish through it every single time.
And that's the unfortunate part for BLG is it just never